Goya Menor.
Goya Menor. Shout out to Benin boys. Or your brothers. all this level of violence. You said the name violence.
Voila.
Goya Menor. You be like Israeli. Guy, you dey manufacture bomb. Calm down. I don't understand.
Who is Goya Menor though?
Is this rapper that's from Benin? Shout out to Benin, man. Benin has been, by the past 2-3 years alone, Benin has given us like 4 or 5 artists that have been doing well. Like AV is a Benin boy, Rema is a Benin boy, Andre Vibes is a Benin boy, Goya Menor is a Benin boy, and it's not the first time. Over the years, it's been happening for a long time. I mean, people thought it was a hype man, but it's a rapper actually. He stumbled upon this song randomly, and now he's here. But the thing about this song and the way everything is going right now, and Love Antity, when you put Love Antity and everything into context, it just shows you that anything is possible. 2 years ago, the record that made everybody realize this was Rose's remix, Imam Beck remix, St. John's record. The record dropped like a year before, but Imam Beck did a remix on it and it went viral on TikTok, and then the record went back and they had to shoot another video for it. At the time, we didn't think the advancement of those possibilities were going to become a Nigerian reality this early, because like internet, purchasing power, the amount of people that are on TikTok, the possibilities were we thought it was very limited. But what a lot of people didn't realize is that the world is coming to Nigeria, and Nigerian culture, African pop culture is interesting in the world. It's becoming attainable, it's becoming appealing to the world. So it means that if the world is becoming a global village because of the internet and social media. So it means that if something goes viral in Nigeria right now, there are chances that someone in the US or the UK or in France or in Russia is going to do a challenge to a record that is going viral in Nigeria on TikTok. So, and people, you know how we were when we were young, right? When we find new artists, you find a new artist and you be like you want to share it to the world. There's this uniqueness, this sense of newness that you feel when you find a new record. And when you tell people, when you tweet it, you feel special because you feel like you have done something that nobody else has done. But the thing is, with TikTok now is the same thing. So if someone were to find a Goya Menor record or a CK record or a Rema record, they are from Russia, they have like 70 million followers on TikTok. If they find that record, they know that if I put it on my social, people are going to think that, oh, I'm a big man, I'm very attentive to this thing. So it's a clout thing as well for a lot of people. I guess that's what it is.
But what made this record catch fire like that?
It's a combination of factors. One, at the start of the year, hype men culture in Nigeria sort of had another way in terms of like social media appeal, in terms of like musicality, in terms of like branding and all of those things. So part of that meant that the hype man culture came with, you remember this guy? One for the DJ, one for the hype man. You guys remember that it was on that Ameno record. Ameno, I wrote an article, you should check the article out on Pulse. Ameno at the start of the year became this soundtrack to Nigeria. No, not at the start of the year, over the past 3 years actually, or 2 years. Became a soundtrack to Nigerian nightlife culture. Because like before, it used to be the Undertaker theme, then it became the Champions League theme. But about around 2 years ago, and Lagos is like the center of excellence. That's where whatever is done in Lagos sort of trickles down to the rest of the world. So all of a sudden, clubs on the island start, I can't remember the name of that club. They were the ones that sort of pioneered this Ameno thing. Because the Champions League team and Undertaker team, everybody was sort of tired of that. So when they were bringing out the casket culture to the big boys, you know, these quote and unquote big boys, the ones that can afford to buy caskets for 1 million. Not you with their salary, you get. When they're bringing the casket for them, they start playing Ameno because it sounds eerie, it sounds dark, it sounds, what's the word I'm looking for? And the song itself looks sad. It looks like something that you can listen to while you're going to sacrifice a human being, or while you're going to maybe slaughter someone for blood money. You know, that's what the record sounds like. So that became a thing in Nigeria. It became a soundtrack, nightlife culture, the culture of vanity, the culture of enjoyment. And then hype men became a thing because hype men started jumping on that because clubs have hype men. I don't know if that makes sense. Clubs have hype men. Hype men started jumping on the record and it sort of became this entire cultural thing. Now, Then when you think about the fact, so then Amapiano was blowing up already in the country. Amapiano sort of became this #1 subgenre of African pop music in Nigeria because everybody wanted to do it. So what this record combines is the elements of those three things: hype man culture, Ameno that was blowing up, and Amapiano, because that's what it is. The beat itself is Ameno with an Amapiano fusion. The record, even though Goya Menor is a rapper, it sounds like a hype man, and then you're looking at the Ameno record itself. So it's the combination of these factors then trickle down, but the trigger to what made this record blow up is what the guy was saying. You want to bamba, you want to chill with the big boys, you want to rock it. The thing about social media now is this: we did an episode of Facts Only about 4 months ago, and we mentioned what makes a record go viral on TikTok. And the thing is, what makes a record go viral on TikTok is a 15-second on that clip. Like, you can find those 15 seconds, make it as resonant enough. People are going to be able to jump on it. They're going to be able to replace something to it. So when you look at the overall, you want to bamba, you want to chill with the big boys, and you run kitty kitty, it's not exactly more than 15 seconds. So what that means is, bro, this guy, and then you want to chill with the big boys. You remember that Ameno soundtracks street culture. He was soundtracking nightlife culture and the big boy cultures who were ordering caskets. What this guy is saying is you want to bamba, it's lingo, it's gang language. So this guy is a Benin boy. He's saying you want to bamba. Obviously, everybody that's watching this, you know what bam means. So, and then you want to chill with the big boys, you want to run kitty kitty. All these things, the fact that place is so resonant made it an inevitable thing that was going to blow up on social media. And the interesting thing about that record is, after it blew up, people were not just using it on TikTok anymore. People were typing it on Twitter as well. I don't know if anybody remembers that. Like, it became a joke. It became the random response, the default response to anything between November and December on Twitter. And the wild part is, that record dropped months before it started blowing up. Months and months. It had been out for months before it started blowing up. So the combination of these factors meant that this guy or this song became a social media sensation, and it's now going viral. The last time I checked, it was #1 on the World Digital Song Sales chart. And the possibilities for this record, they are so endless right now. It could go as high as possible. You have Mariah Carey doing a challenge, doing a TikTok to the record. You had Shaquille O'Neal. Do you guys know the fuck Shaq is? Shaq was dancing to the record yesterday. My guy, shout out to Sony, man. You guys are doing some impressive work.
So you have Shaquille O'Neal, we have Mariah Carey jumping on this track. What is sustaining this record in the US?
It's a combination of factors. #1, the record is so catchy. #2, it's a lot of TikTok. TikTok is making the world a global village right now. And #3, you can't take away the place of funding. Like, the way the world works right now, it's a lot of strategy and funding. Nothing is organic anymore, and rightly so, because the world is dealing with a lot of competition. Like, something has to be able to trump another. No matter how good something is, you have to put a healthy amount of money behind it for it to be able to blow. So if you are seeing anything rise up the charts, especially something that is not inherently American or fundamentally American or American by origin, you sort of know that there's a lot of work going on behind the scenes for the record. So Afrobeat is trending right now, and like as I've always said, it's what makes African music is the percussion. When you listen to African music, you're going to know. Even though this record is Ameno, like some weeks ago we did an episode about Amapiano, and what my point was African pop music is Afro pop or Afrobeats is this umbrella term for Africa, for different brands of African pop music, because a lot of people can identify it. The fundamental identifier for African pop music is the percussion, the drums. That's what makes us different. Even the dancehall or Caribbean pop music and African pop music sort of have similarities. When you listen to African music, you are going to know because of the way we are using the drums and the snare. So what makes sense is, the fact that Essence has had this moment, Love Vance has had the moment, Corey Davido has had this moment, Davido has had the moment, Burna, like all these things combined for the fact that it's desirable product right now. African pop music or African percussion. So the moment someone hears that and they hear you want to bamba, bro, the guy sounds like, it has this aggressive baritone. It sounds like GMX or Mystical or Bone Crusher or even a dancehall artist like maybe what's this guy? Busy Signal or somebody. It sounds like some of those artists. So it drives your curiosity, and what it's saying is actually, even when you don't understand it, you think it's funny because of the way it's saying it. So aside from the issue of funding or strategy, it makes sense that this record is climbing up the charts right now. And like I said, there's a huge possibility if the cards are played right that this record gets on the Billboard Hot 100. There's a huge possibility. And just goes to show how much Sony is succeeding in this country. I feel like people are not giving Sony their credit when it comes to African music. They are literally, I mean, Warner had Love and City, obviously, yes, but Sony is doing a madness right now. They're doing a madness. Both Sony and other subsidiaries of Sony, they're doing good. I have to give them their credit.
What needs to happen for this track to break the Billboard Top 100?
Four things need to happen. One, they need to continue what they're doing. They need to keep doing it. But sometimes you need to reimagine the ideas or try to. Sometimes what you are doing might not be able to take a record beyond the level that it is. Like, you have gotten noticed. Okay, how do you get it to become a trend in America? It's already a trend here. It's already a trend across Africa. But how do you make it become a trend in America? So what you're going to need is you have to double your efforts. It's very hard to break a record in that place. Not every record is going to be Love and City, and even Love and City was tough. And still, Love and City, as huge as it was across the world, they cracked the top 20 in the US, so you have to understand how crazy that is. So shout out to Whiskey and Essence for that. So if you're going to do that, you have to double your efforts. So that number one, you have to increase the efforts that you're putting in. So that means better strategy. So that means you're not just looking at Mariah Carey and Shaq now, because those guys are 40 plus people. They are 40 plus people. You have to look at young people. So you have to look at people like Kylie Jenner. You have to look at people like Charlie D'Amelio. You have to create a dance, if possible, on TikTok. A dance that people can easily create, a dance that I can do here with lights and whatever I can do. And even my phone. I don't need any special choreographer to be able to teach me what to do. So you have to think creatively about how you want to bamba. It's such a catchy thing. It's such an incredible product that you can turn it into anything you want to turn it into. So that's one. Strategy and doing more on what they are already doing. So that means part of strategy is increasing funding. So I've put a lot more money behind it, either you like it or not. Number three, you might need a little bit of fortune for the records to be able to crack it, because if a lot of people are not releasing at this time when the record is catching fire, then you stand a better chance of cracking the Billboard Hot 100. So that's it. And shout out to Peru as well. Peru is doing well. We are going to do a factory episode on that very soon. And then finally, you might need a feature for the record. I don't know who it is, but you might need a feature. Someone with some American currency who can drive attention to you. We saw what Justin Bieber did for Essence. So this record might also need a feature. I think those are the four things I can need. Besides
this Ameno remix, what prospects do you think Goya Menor has?
Man, the world it's a scary world right now, bro. It's such a scary world in the sense that we just don't know, bro. We just don't know what's going to happen. You might predict that it might be this might be his only hit track, and it might surprise you. You might predict that he's going to be here for 10 years and only be here for now. So you just don't know, and that's why even labels are very wary now with the kind of deals that they offer to artists. Sometimes it's just a licensing deal for one record. Sometimes it's just a one-album deal. Sometimes it's 2-album deal. So they are being very sensible. So it shows you the kind of environment that we live in. I think what we need to talk about is what Goya Menor needs to do for him to be here for a long time. Number one, that voice can't be your only asset, can't be your only selling point. Because things like that, they are cool for a while, but after a while they might not exactly be as cool anymore. If Busta Rhymes could come and sing "Baby If You Give It To Me," because he needed to switch it on. Then you need to switch it as well. That's what it is. You need to find a way to use the vocals. So the voice can't be the only thing that you're known for, because once everybody jumps on it and they can do they want their featured you on their records, the cycle might be over. So you need to become more than the voice and more than the catchy lines guy. Try to make some music that doesn't relate to that. Reminisce did something. Pamela was a very important turning point for Reminisce, in the sense that he used his voice for something different. He sang about something different, sang about love, sang about heartbreak. So it shows you that you can find a way to break your brand up. Anything is possible. But for now, that's a little bit further down the line. But for now, he needs another hit record. That's just what it is. No, it doesn't have to be another global hit record or another continental hit record. But it needs something that could sustain him after this. And that's facts only.